Where am I creating pressure here?
Right here.
Am I choking you at all?
No, it's mostly neck crank.
Yeah, it's just a severe neck crank. So when we start with the arm triangle, and again, neck crank doesn't mean wrong. What it does mean in this case is much less efficient. Because there are neck cranks that are really efficient. If you've ever been like can I grab your back for a second here?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Like,
Mister.
if I'm here,
Yeah.
this is pretty damn efficient, right? Like I'm not burning energy doing that, right? A twister is another. That's more of like almost like a spine twist. Like I don't feel a twister in my neck. I feel it in my ribs and my back more. So it depends how flexible you are. I wouldn't always characterize the twister as a neck crank, but there are some very effective neck cranks. This is not an effective neck crank. This is me just squeezing really hard, and you're just gonna be like sore afterwards. And it's not something that will reliably finish someone in a competition. So I'm not against neck cranks. It's just I'm against inefficiency. So back. We're starting just so that we have like a just an arm triangle. Back to your back.
Oh.
We're starting so you have like a landmark with if we're doing it with our right arm. We're starting with our right elbow around our partner's shoulder. As they turn away from us, those of you that are having a little bit of trouble, you're keeping your elbow relatively in place. What we want to do, come back down please. As they turn away, my right elbow withdraws and my left elbow replaces it. So my right elbow is now much closer to their right armpit, and my left elbow is in roughly the same place that my right elbow was previously. So if you're not making that switch, that full rotation, right, then you're going to get that neck crank pressure. So back down to the arm triangle, please, sir. As he turns away, that's what I'm withdrawing my elbow as we go, and I'm blocking the back of his head so that I can insert my hand into the choke position, kind of all in one motion. You notice my head got out of the way. One of the reasons people struggle, come back down, as he turns away, is people are like keeping their head tight, and then I can't get my arm in here. It's okay to move your head out of the way. I'm no longer trying to arm triangle him. I'm doing this. So my head completely got out of the way. Look how deep my elbow is. It's like all the way on his shoulder behind his head. That's why I say more people can do this than realize. The people that are over here, they're like, man, my arms are too short. I can't make this happen. So am I. My arms are too short to make this happen. Now they're not. So it's just a change in angle. Most of the time, and this is another concept that's really helpful, most of the time in jiu-jitsu, when you think that you need to be more flexible or that your limbs are not long enough or like you're having trouble somehow getting your limbs to where they need to be, the problem is not the length of your limbs or the lack of flexibility. The problem is the angle of your body or the angle of your hips. All right, so like can I just put you in my guard for a second?
Yeah.
When you see people like try to do an arm bar the first few times and they're like, my leg needs to be more flexible, I can't do this. And that's clearly not the problem. The problem is your hip is not moving enough. So it's the same thing here. If you can't get your elbow somewhere, it's not that your arm necessarily, and again, some people are just too short to do this. I'm not going to pretend otherwise, right? Like the broader your opponent's shoulders are, the shorter your arms are. There's a limit. At a certain point, it just becomes unfeasible. But it will help you tremendously to stop trying to do this and just do that. Just jam your elbow in as far as you can go by rotating your torso to create, like this gives me a lot more extension than this. The angle is just different. So try doing that a little bit more and see if that helps you out. But just in general, make sure its right elbow is coming back and left elbow is replacing it. And that's when we'll know we have the correct angle. Our forearm will be on our partner's like front corner of their neck, their sternocleidomastoid, and you won't be getting that awful neck pressure. All right.
So when you break them, like after they put that pressure in there, and you get up on top. At what point do you apply the pressure again, or is it all the time as you're breaking?
No, we don't apply actual like you mean choke pressure.
Yeah.
Not until the very end. Very very much like with the arm bar, like with we were talking about the idea of keeping our muscles relaxed, right? There's a finite amount of I'm probably going to get this wrong. It's like there's the ATP and there's the glycogen. Like you've got some energy stores in your muscles is the best way. I'm not qualified to go into the details. You will burn them out. So like if we're talking about a competition, you got 1 match, probably not a big deal. 2, it starts to become an issue. 3, that's a real problem. 4, forget it. If you're the guy who's always just squeezing really hard to hold everything the whole time, your arms, then the forearms are burnt out. That's why. Because you're squeezing when you don't need to be. We want to be, like, the reason we're going through some of these details is I want to be as mechanically efficient as far as, like, the choke will be the best quality, but I also want to be as energy efficient in that until I'm actually trying to finish you. It's like with the arm bar. If I'm trying to take your arm into extension and I'm already going 100%, that's a tremendous waste of energy. The only time you should be applying 100% muscular force is if you're trying to escape something that's about to finish you, right? Or you're trying to finish something that will end the match, right? Or you're gonna score, like again, if we're talking about competition, it's like, man, if I just go, everything I got, I'll steal this guard pass. Cool, do that. But the rest of it, like if you're doing 100% expenditure to do anything else, there's no way you're gonna, like, the best athletes on the planet, I usually use hockey as the analogy because I'm Canadian, but like if you look at the best hockey players and they play, like they go out and they have, you know what a shift is? Like you go out on the ice and you skate for a certain amount of time. You know how long a shift is in hockey? In the highest level of professional hockey with millionaire elite athletes, it's 30 seconds. Maybe 60 if you're really pushing it. And if you're any longer than that, the best athlete on the planet is like getting back to the bench like that because their legs are just done. It doesn't matter how conditioned you are, you can't apply full muscular exertion for more than a certain amount of time. So with this, you absolutely should not be doing anything more than just an isometric hold until you break all of their alignment, get them to 3-0 or 3-1 at the very least, and then give her. And even then, you probably shouldn't go 100% because how many matches do you have? How many rolls are you going to do? If I can choke you with 40 or 50% with just like isometric hold, that's what I'm going to do. You'll only go 100% if there's nothing, like it's the last match, you're going to get the gold medal or whatever, then yeah, go right ahead. Otherwise, totally unnecessary. Sorry for the long ass tangent, guys.
No.
All right, 1, 2, 3.